How's it going, everybody? This is Trady Collins, your host for the Podcast Island, episode number 16. This podcast can be viewed only on YouTube at the One Man Island Productions YouTube channel. Clips of the podcast can be viewed on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. You know what was really awesome about being a kid? Chuck E. Cheese, basic math, the fact that you didn't have to pay the electric bill, the water bill, gas money, among others. And also, awesome television shows. I'm 25 years old, which means that I was born in the 90s. 98 to be exact. Being a kid and watching television shows was awesome. By awesome, I mean spectacular. I mean, the thrill of just waiting for your favorite TV show to come on and you're hearing that awesome intro, or if you go to the bathroom while the commercial's going and you hear it on the television show and you have to hurry up and get there before you miss even a second, let alone a minute. I mean, they were experimental, original, and not only that, they would write dialogue for the adults. I mean, if you guys would know this, there was always innuendos or just visual innuendos of sexual or adult humor. So as a kid, you would laugh at these bits, even though you didn't know what the jokes were. They'll go right over your head. But once you get to adulthood, and then once you start watching adult content, or just adult shows on cable TV, and then you go back and watch a favorite TV show, you start to laugh even harder. Today's episode is about one of my favorite childhood television shows. As kids, there was a bunch of shows across the Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and Cartoon Network to choose from. Ben 10, Drake and Josh, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Victoria, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Wizards of Waverly Place, Danny Phantom, Dexter's Laboratory, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, SpongeBob, Proud Family, That's So Raven, Jimmy Neutron, Fairy Odd Parents, Codename Kids Next Door. And I think I only hit about maybe half of the amounts that they were. I'm pretty sure there's many more television shows. Think about this now. I didn't even mention Animaniacs or Ren and Stimpy. But there was 3 shows for me that I loved, that I couldn't stop watching. Quite frankly, I watched them the whole season, start to finish, 3 times, at least 3 times. And that was Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Boondocks. And then finally, the title of the episode, The Teen Titans. I can't tell you specifically the date or how old I was when I first laid my brown eyes on the American anime DC Comics television show created by Glenn Murakami. And by the way, Glenn Murakami, he's an excellent American animator, artist, character designer, director, and producer. Not only did he direct and do all that stuff for Teen Titans, but he did it for Batman Beyond, Teen Titans Go, Ben 10 Alien Force, and Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. I think right now he's still doing that stuff, so it's great to know that he's still providing his artistic vision and his passion for creating animation and just telling great stories. But you're probably wondering, what exactly was it that made me a fan of Teen Titans? Was it the characters, the stories, the comedic moments, the anime style, the music, the dialogue, the storylines? Me understanding that I wasn't the only person that loved this show. And for me, it was just all of it. I'm not a television show writer. I'm not a paid critic. I'm not even a comic book expert. But when I see something special, I know when it's special because I did see it. I wasn't only one. And it all starts with the characters. So in the show, for those who didn't see this show or know what I'm talking about or don't even know about comic characters, the Teen Titans is a very vast and open community. It's pretty much a bunch of sidekicks being their own heroes. And it's very vast. You have Aqualad, you have Speedy, you have a bunch of different sidekicks. I think Bumblebee also. I think the Martian Manhunter's daughter. There's a bunch of heroes out there. I mean, it's not just relegated to these 5 heroes, but the 5 heroes that they focused on, that they picked, that they chose to tell a great story of a family-like young teenage environment was Robin, Cyborg, Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven. And Robin is probably the most recognized, marketable character out of the five. Robin starts off as a person in this show, wanting to establish his own brand of heroism. After leaving Gotham and Batman's side, he's strong desires to be alone so he doesn't have to share the grief and dark psyche rubbed off from Bruce Wayne and the death of his parents. That plan immediately fails once he finds out he has to at least form the Titans. And during that time, he learns how to work as a team. He learns how to trust teammates, dealing with Slade. He learns how to be a team player. And you can see a little bit of Batman once he's fighting Slade, a little bit of Batman in him start to come out, which is also a good sight to see as far as character development. And he also learns how to be a true kid and eventually love again. I mean, like, Robin is a very, in this show early on, is a very rigid, mission-focused, strict leader. But then again, once you watch the show, and once you saw him interact with other Titans, you saw a little bit of the kid in him that, in a way, I guess he was suppressed by Batman a little bit. I think that's a good way to show it. Because he's a teenager. Teenagers going to do teenager things. And if you really think about it, the difference is that Batman had interactions with women or loved ones, but none of them last because he's so damaged. Robin, being with the Titans, served as kind of like a therapy and eventually evolution, an evolution of his character, which is awesome to see. Next one is Cyborg. And if you know the Cyborg story, you know that his car accident, which killed his mother and himself, it was pretty much the end of Victor Stone, which is what his real name is. His father, who was a very smart scientist, brings him back to life as a robotic man with a human heart. Now, Cyborg mentally is dealing with the fact that he's a robot and he can't live a normal life. But, look, I mean, think about it. He doesn't even have a stomach. I'm pretty sure in one of those, like, awesome DC animated movies, I think Batman asked Cyborg during the Justice League, where does the food go if he doesn't have a stomach? And he pretty much says, you don't want to know. And it's a good humor. Look, he finds the Titans, or the Titans find him, either or. And look, he's paired up with a man that was partnered with one of the most mentally damaged human beings in all of DC, and that's Batman. So he pairs up with Robin. He also pairs up with a boy that's green that can morph into any animal on the planet. You also have the daughter of a demon and a legit alien. After a while, he became the big brother, and sometimes he was that person to ground everybody. There was this episode, I think it's one of the more... There are two moments, I think, of Cyborg that's very, very telling of his character. There was an episode where Starfire was dealing with racism from one of another alien character. And Cyborg pretty much told him that, listen, like, he's pretty much calling you a bad name, and you feel like if you call him out on his shit, it'll validate everything he said about him. And Starfire understand, like, you understand what it's like being judged based on who you are. And he said, yeah, I'm half robot, but look, Cyborg's black, for those who don't know. So it's kind of like a wink wink. It's like, I know what you thought he was going to say, but we just went with the robot thing. But it's like a wink to the fans and pretty much any black person's like, listen, we know. The other awesome Cyborg moment was when he was dealing with Mono. I think that's what it was. Maybe I forgot his name, but it was like he was fighting another robot, and he was pretty much coming to grips with the fact that you can push yourself past 100% even though you physically can't. You should never give up. Even if you're a robot, you're still a better person. And that was an awesome Cyborg-centered story. The next character is Starfire. Now, I don't know everything about Starfire from the comics, but this version of Starfire has a lovely innocence and naive characteristics to her persona. It's actually very entertaining watching Starfire enjoy the American Earth lifestyle, like shopping at the mall or going for pizza, the carnival. And then there are oddities like enjoying burned pancakes or just straight mustard. I mean, Starfire had her funny moments, even though she's so innocent. It's obvious to say that she is the heart of the group. Robin provides the stern, serious side of the Titans. Cyborg grounds everybody. And Starfire provides that heart. The next one is Beast Boy. Now, Beast Boy is the annoying character, the annoying younger brother that a lot of people just wants to have on their team, but sometimes they wish they can just like sew their mouth shut like Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine. And you know what's crazy about Beast Boy is that he has the potential and has the ability to be the most powerful hero amongst the Titans. It's said that he can turn into any animal or creature that he sees. There was an episode where he turned into Chewbacca. And then there was another episode where he turned into an alien creature from Starfire's home planet. I mean, the range is infinite, pretty much. And maybe I guess when you're structuring the role for each character as it pertains to their association, Beast Boy is the younger brother. Cyborg is the older brother. And maybe Raven's a middle sibling. They're a family, but they're more like a fraternity, or maybe just a group of brothers and sisters together in a way of like far as like relation to certain parts of the group. And Beast Boy during the series, I mean, he was positioned as the unintelligent comic relief and with a lot of potential. He's basically the Teen Titans Michelangelo. But there was one episode during the Doom Patrol where we saw a Beast Boy that was focused, attention to detail, and no jokes. And it shows you that Beast Boy if he wanted to be, he could be the most powerful hero that he was always capable of being. But I think he also realized that sometimes when you're in a serious group, it's okay to have a little fun. And it kind of like breaks the ice and loosens everybody up sometimes. And then lastly, it's Raven. Now, ever since 2002, when it comes to film and even farther back when it comes to comic television content, people have always associated tragic characters or backstories to Spider-Man, Batman, Rocket Raccoon, Moon Knight, The Flash, Superman, those characters. Well, here's what I would say. Imagine growing up the daughter of a demon and not being allowed to express yourself because of the fear that you're releasing your father's wrath. Look, Robin said it best. When the Titans defeated Trigon, Robin said this to Raven. He said that she is the most hopeful person that he's ever met. Because guess what? Imagine finding strength to still help people, knowing the inevitable that on a certain birthday the world's gonna end, but you still find in your heart to at least help somebody. That's something. And I feel like if this was on live action, it'd be one of the most greatest stories ever told. And it shows you that sometimes people show you who they are when life doesn't go their way. Now, let's get into how it starts. If you want to go in chronological order, the first episode of Teen Titans was The Final Exam, airing on July 19th, 2003. This is when they first learned of Slade's existence, aka Deathstroke. One of the reasons this episode, much like the episodes that follows, is that they're already a team. There isn't this long storyline of how they got together. It's similar to the MCU with Spider-Man, or the X-Men movies, or the Black Panther. It makes it easier for us to jump into a story and allow us to build the foundation of what makes Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Raven comparable to the villain and how they all function as a team. Just go right into the story. They're already together. It saves time. Maybe they add a little hints that they were soul acts before, or how they got together and how they met. But right now, they're together. And guess what? It's fine like that. And we don't really get a true origin story of exactly how these authentic cast of heroes got together until about season 5, episode 10. In 23 minutes, we got maybe a quick introduction into who these characters were, and how they've grown up to this moment. Robin leaving Batman's side to be his own hero. Beast Boy ditching the Doom Patrol. Cyborg wanted to be alone because nobody wants to deal with a guy who looks like a monster. Raven, who's actually a monster, who doesn't want to deal with human contact. And then you have Starfire fleeing from her own people as a fugitive, or a mistaken fugitive. All 5 of these characters were lost, and then they found each other and they did one thing. They saved the day. and that's all they needed to. That's all they needed really to get together. And sooner or later, they found out they actually have some things in common. The next thing I want to talk about is the animation. Now, the Teen Titans frequently used self-referential humor, and its animation style is heavily influenced by anime. Along with its heavy anime influence, the animation also has signs of past DC cartoon styles seen by Glenn Murakami and previously by Bruce Timm. Now, while certain aspects of all characters are changed to accommodate a more lighthearted anime style, different aspects can be compared to earlier shows like Batman Beyond or Justice League. They all bear resemblance. And let's not forget their awesome intro that they had. So, for those who didn't see the show, they had one of the most recognizable, iconic, and just it's kind of like one of those songs that gets stuck in your head that you just cannot get out of your head. And on different shows, the series theme songs and lyrics alternate between English and Japanese, which is sung by J-pop duo Puffy Amiyumi. And the voice director Andrea Romano revealed an Easter egg on a season 3 at DVD that the Japanese theme song means it will be a silly episode, while the English theme means that it will be a serious episode. There's also fun action scenes where whenever there was a intense knockdowns or special moves being made, they would just display a freeze frame of the contact with a stylized background, giving that sweet comic book feel. I remember one episode where I think it was when Robin went out to seek special training. So before then, he was fighting a ninja. I think it was a ninja on top of a rooftop, and they had this nice silhouette fight. It was against a I think it was at sunset. So it was at sunset. He was fighting a ninja on top of I think maybe they're in Chinatown, maybe. So I think Jump City. That's where the show is located at. Jump City. I think it's in the West Coast, if I remember correctly. So that means that they were fighting on the West Coast, maybe in Chinatown, on the rooftops, fighting a ninja and sunset, and you had this nice wide shot silhouette shot of Robin fighting the other guy. It was very, very awesome. It was very, very Shang-Chi. If you've ever seen that movie also. Very Kung Fu movie-esque, which is awesome. Nice different visual aesthetic. Now, the relationships between these characters can be described as a family. You have Beast Boy and Cyborg acting as siblings. Robin and Starfire becoming an official couple by the end of the series. Beast Boy and Terra have become a couple for a short time, but not a long time. The fan base, including me, was shipping hard for a Beast Boy and Raven relationship. Hell, they basically put them together in the reimagined and somewhat rebooted Teen Titans Go. Robin and Cyborg basically butted heads a few times because they are both alphas, smart and capable on their own. Now for storylines. There were many different storylines, rivalries, interactions that were fun, interesting, and memorable. You obviously had the Slade versus Robin, or Slade versus Teen Titans in general, Titans East. Titans East featured, I think, was Aqualad, Speedy, Mouse and Manos, and Bumblebee, and Cyborg. So that was Titans East. So that's why I always felt like Titans, the Teen Titans, was always on the West Coast, because you wouldn't mention the East if all that stuff. And I think it was also funny that because I also think that Batman Gotham is in New York, so I'm trying to figure like where exactly is Titans East? Is it in Pennsylvania? Is it in New Jersey, Virginia? Like where's Connecticut? Where is Titans East specifically located at? Food for thought. You also had Raven and Starfire switching bodies. That was an awesome storyline. Trigon storyline. That was awesome. Trouble in Tokyo. Awesome television movie. Starfire versus Blackfire. Titans together. And the Judas Contract. I think I've heard fans on social media and also on YouTube. I think they've also said that the Judas Contract was the best adapted part of the Titans ever. Because I think they've did a animated movie based on the Judas Contract, but nobody liked. And maybe they did that in the live action version of DC. I think DC streaming service did a live action Titans. I think maybe they did maybe they did do a Judas Contract, but I don't know. I didn't watch that version. But I can tell you one thing. The one storyline that I really think is the best Teen Titans storyline was Robin versus Slade. Specifically, when Robin was exposed to some toxic chemicals, which made him see Slade and feel his pain. It was essentially a nightmare come to life. I mean, do you guys? I don't know if you guys seen it, but there was a scene where Slade was given the greatest villain line of all time. I mean, Thanos had great lines. Heath Ledger's Joker had great lines. The High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had great lines, but this one was awesome. He said, "I am the thing that keeps you up at night, the evil that haunts every dark corner of your mind. I will not rest, and neither will you. I will not stop, not now, not ever." I said it backwards, but Slade had some badass quotes. I would say those quotes was better than Thanos, Heath Ledger's Joker, and High Evolutionary. Now the question is, should there have been a sixth season? In mid-November 2005, TitansTower.com reported that prospects for a sixth season were looking extremely unlikely, and the fans were urged to express their support for the show to Cartoon Network. Several days after this initial posting, word came that Cartoon Network had officially terminated the show. According to Wil Wheaton, the voice actor who provided the voice of Aqualad, the series was terminated by New Warner Bros. Feature animation executives who made the decision not to renew the series based on its sixth season pitch. Sorry if you heard that. So Wil Wheaton's story was contradicted by series story editor Rob Hagee, who stated that the decision came from Cartoon Network, not Warner Brothers, and that there were never any plans for a sixth season. So after the series finale, Warner Bros. Animation announced a feature called Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. The film premiered at San Diego Comic-Con International and was shown on Cartoon Network first on September 15th, 2006. Aired on the Warner Brothers Network on September 16th, 2006, and finally released on DVD on February 6th, 2007. Now, time has passed, like 4 years after, towards the end of 2011, internet rumors speculated that a sixth season of the show was in the works. Such rumors were based on the reports that Greg Cipes, the voice of Beast Boy on the show, had stated that work on the new season was underway and that a live-action Teen Titans film was planned for release at the end of 2012. Then, around 2012, Derek Watt also stated that the next arc would feature the Titans setting up international towers and battling the monster from the season 5 finale. During WonderCon panel in March 2018, Teen Titans Go producer Michael Janetic said he could almost guarantee the original Teen Titans series would be returning. No announcement has been made of May 2018. And for those of you wondering, it's currently 2023. That was 5 years ago. Please do not get my hopes up. I love this show way too much. Do not get my hopes up. So shortly after the Teen Titans Go movie premiered, Greg Cipes took over the movie's Instagram and Twitter accounts for Q&A. A fan asked for one word about the mid-credits scene, to which he replied, "Our fans will always get what they want." You know, I love when people put Easter eggs like that. Only if it's followed on properly, and only if you have all the intentions of finishing out what was my favorite television show growing up. I did not see Teen Titans Go, the movie. I heard people loved it. I heard video essays saying this is one of the best animated movies of all time, one of the best animated DC movies of all time, one of the best animated superhero Kate films of all time. And I didn't see it. Why? Because I want a 6th damn season. I want a 6th season because I think we all deserve a proper climax to one of the... Look, when you leave on a cliffhanger and don't follow up on it, Beast Boy found Terra. And then we never knew what happened after that. To me, I wanted to see Beast Boy and Raven get together. Since Trigun's no more, I want to see Beast Boy and Raven get together. I want to see Cyborg probably get his own lady. I want a proper conclusion. You can't leave on a cliffhanger like that. I mean, that's like if Spider-Man never returned back to the MCU after the second movie, where Mysterio revealed his identity. It can happen. Alright, so let's get into what I think validates my point about this show being iconic. So, I'm going to read to you some comments. This comes from IMDb. These are comments about the show. And now these vary from when it first came out all the way until maybe 2 years ago. So here's one called, the user is called Sonic Stewart. She says, the person says, Teen Titans is a team of young teenage superheroes led by Robin from Batman. The other team members of the Teen Titans are Raven, Cyborg, Starfire, and Beast Boy. They live in a large tower in the shape of a T that they call Titan Tower. And these heroes have no secret identities and they have no school because they are just superheroes. Together they must go up against their nemesis, Slade and his other evil members. Slade is the most badass villain I've ever seen, and his plans are just so evil. And Ron Perlman does a perfect job of portraying the voice and playing the voice of Slade. I think this superhero team is pretty cool. My favorite character is probably Robin because he has cool gadgets, and plus his martial arts moves are tight. This series premiered on Cartoon Network in July 2003, and it's also a kids Warner Bros, mostly on Cartoon Network. She says, the person says, bottom line cool, user rating 10 out of 10. I like this person. Alright, next one is, I cannot pronounce that. I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's a Tennick64589. Man, the first time I saw the promos for this, I thought this was gonna suck. Good thing I checked it out anyway and found out that it was very well done. By the way, I'm a supporter of the Robin Starfire relationship tie-in, as I'm sure everyone's aware of all the different Titan relationships tie-in. The characters are voiced very well, and the American-Japanese animation blend does wonders for the show. If it's good enough to last a few more seasons, I'm going to check that out. The series is a 10 as far as I go. That happened in 2003, by the way. And the previous one I read happened in 2004. So let's go find one that was... here's one from 2016. Excuse me. I love everything about this show. The action, the drama, the characters, the animation, the voice acting, everything is just so good. The action, I like the superhero shows. I like the action shows. How couldn't I love this show? The action is enjoyable, epic, and it even has a suspense sometimes, making me wonder if the Titans will win. The second thing I think he liked about the show is the drama. Some of the things the Titans will face are certainly interesting. I won't say much because spoilers, but I really like some of the drama and scenarios the Titans will be in. The third one is the characters. Most of the characters were likable in the show. They were well developed, interesting, diverse. My favorites were probably Starfire and Raven. I think everybody likes Raven. Then again, I think there's maybe a clique of people that like goth girls, because I know there are a few people that like Shigo, Raven, and other goth girls. And I think there's also that one young lady from Danny Phantom. The fourth thing she liked about this, that the person liked about this, was the animation. The animation is a lovely mix of Japanese and Western. While I'm not a huge fan of anime, the animation still appeals to me, and it doesn't look like a knockoff either. And the last one is the voice acting. All the voices fit the characters in this, and the voice actors all gave an excellent performance. Overall, I would definitely recommend Teen Titans. Watch the show, not Teen Titans Go. You and I both agree. You and I are on the same page. This one happened about 3 years ago in April. I love this show. It has great character development and is really funny. Raven is the best character by far. It sucks that the show was canceled. I think we all agree that the show should be still going on right now. All right, let's read one more. All right, this one comes from Vanilla Star 86. Well, mainly I just wanted to say that I think that this is a good show. As the series go on, you do learn Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg's stories. I think people just mainly assume where Robin came from, and we already know his story. If you keep the series, you learn more little by little. Sometimes the comedy does get a little stale, but I really love the animation. I hate how people get annoyed about the anime factor. So what if it borrowed a little anime? There's nothing wrong about that. Maybe the animation isn't the most complex in the world, but I think it's really clean and clear, and a lot better than most of the animation today. The way the writers portrayed the characters was right on. All right, I'm gonna read one more because this is very short. And you know what's funny? I've read a lot of these. This one happened about 2 years ago. A lot of these comments I'm reading from IMDb, I think DB, they have a star rating on top of them. So right now, this one has 10 out of 10. Can't pronounce that one either. I'm not good with names, but I'm not going to try to disrespect anybody by butchering up the name. But this person says that it was a great series and forget about the Teen Titans Go. The original has great animation, awesome Japanese influence, as well as more action, and none of the butt jokes Teen Titans Go make. I rest my case. The original Teen Titans is the best Teen Titans, and they should have a 6th season. Now, these are comments from during the show's release, and some of them as far back as 2020. People are watching, immersing, laughing, holding onto these characters: Robin, Beast Boy, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, and more. Now, I don't know if these people, whether you're a boy, girl, teenager, young adult, and middle-aged, black or white, comic book fan, non-comic fan, this goes to show you when you give something a chance, it can be really great. Some of these people thought it would be juvenile. Considering they are called the Teen Titans, it's okay to be juvenile. Hell, I know people who are friends of mine from college who told me about Amazing World of Gumball. I had no intentions of watching it, watched it, saw a clip of it on YouTube. It was when Anais was born and she was pretty much tormenting Gumball and Darwin. There was a scene where she put them on the freeway and they almost got run over by an 18-wheeler, and Darwin's spirit, like the fish is spirit separated from its body, heading to heaven, and Darwin just brings it back down to its physical person. Gumball says, "At least your soul went upwards." That's a kid's show. And I was like, that's my kid's show. Look, we've all fell into this trap of wanting a television show, to fill a gap based on what our expectations of the film is. For me, I just want awesome storytelling with clever writing, characters that we can get behind and have a fun time. That's really what I want. I want to have a fun time. I don't care if the show is animated or CGI. Hell, Avatar, the blue people, the Na'vi, Avatar was a great film and was CGI heavied. And it was an awesome film. My father once said, if you assume you're making an ass out of you and me. So I never assume what a movie's going to be. I never assume what everything's going to be. I just say, here, I'm going to give it a chance. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Some films, hey, if you just are not interested in watching something at that time, that's fine. Doesn't mean you hate it. It just means that wasn't the right time to watch it. So the question is, does it hold up today? I remember my sophomore year at Southern Connecticut State University during the winter break. I binge watched all 5 seasons of the Teen Titans at the age of 19. It wasn't the fact that it was a standalone show with no ties to a bigger universe like Marvel. It was just awesome. Again, it was funny, serious, artistic, and fun. Sure, it's made for kids. Hey, SpongeBob is made for kids. People still laugh at it. Spider-Man, the animated series, had many limitations. It was still great. Guardians of the Galaxy is serious, and so is Deadpool, and we still love it. Another reason why we love it is because at the time, comic book caped content, whether it's television or film, wasn't so fast. You can make a film or television show and not have it compared to anything. So the limited access to that stuff really made it stand alone and made it pretty much authentic and made it original. Nowadays, there's so many caped films, it's hard to come up with new ideas. But to me, it does hold up. Teen Titans does hold up. The reception was warranted. The positive reception was warranted. They should have a 6th season. The storylines, the relationships were awesome. The animation, awesome. The fact that they're just a team and we don't need this long-winded explanation of how they got together, it was awesome. The characters were awesome. The show itself was straight up awesome. And I would like to thank all that listened to the Podcast Island episode number 16. I took a few weeks off, personal reasons, but we'll be back with our normal scheduled Saturday uploads. So next week I'll be talking about Justin Herbert of the San Diego Chargers. I'm your host, Trey DeCollins. Remember, this podcast can only be viewed on YouTube at the One Man Island Productions YouTube channel. Clips of the podcast can be viewed on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you guys in the future.